Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the what's next on Daniel Dubois, the former WBA regular heavyweight champion, following his second pro defeat and 9th round TKO loss to Oleksandr Usyk, as Dubois got his mandatory title shot and came up short against Usyk. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I try to build my channel up here. So back to Dubois. So I really contemplated on whether Dubois, after losing, deserved to still be in the top 10. I looked at some of the guys in that landscape, and I do think he still deserves to be right there. He gave Joe Joyce hell. He did. In that fight, he was up on 2 of the 3 cards when Joyce caught him, hit him with a body shot, and Dubois couldn't recover. And it was late in the fight too. I think it was a 10th or 11th round stoppage for Joyce. So Dubois, he was really in that one, and Joyce is still a top 10 guy. Then, he knocked the shit out of Trevor Bryan last year to capture the WBA regular belt. And he had his moments against Usyk, most notably the controversy of whether that was a low blow or not, that he landed in the 5th round that put Usyk down hard. Referee ruled it a low blow. Dubois claimed that really ripped him apart because he felt like he had a knockout win for sure and that it wasn't low. He's protested the fight, but I really doubt that anything comes from it, because it was definitely on the line. It was one of those ones where you can argue low, or you could say it was clean, because it was right on the line. I think it could go either way, to be honest. Looking at the replay, if I saw it in slow motion, if I saw it in real time, it'd be very hard for me to decide. If I was the referee, it really would. But looking at it in the replay, I personally don't feel it was a low blow, but it was definitely on the belt line. It was definitely right there. And I think both sides have a strong argument for it, but at the end of the day, it was ruled a low blow. Usyk was given 5 minutes to recover. He took up most of that, and then he got up and broke down Daniel Dubois and stopped him in the 9th round to retain the unified heavyweight title. So the big question now is, what's next for Daniel Dubois following that loss? Well, like Usyk told him, he's young and he's got time, and he does. He's only 25 years old. Daniel Dubois has plenty of time to recover from this and get better and become, make another push towards a world title. The heavyweight division right now at the top, it's old. It really is. And in the next couple years, those older guys are gonna recycle out, and you're gonna have guys like Dubois taking the division over, in my opinion. So let's run through the top 10 and see what possibly could be next for Daniel Dubois following this loss, if there's even any possibilities in the top 10. We start with number 1, undefeated WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. Not gonna happen. Dubois coming off of a loss. Fury's fighting Francis Ngannou in a non-title fight next, and then he's gonna want a showdown with Usyk for undisputed. But if that doesn't happen, why would he take a step back and fight Dubois? It wouldn't make any sense for Fury, and with Dubois coming off of a loss, so I don't see Fury and Dubois happening. Then you have Oleksandr Usyk, a rematch. Usyk doesn't have to fight him again, and Usyk's either going to fight Tyson Fury for undisputed, or he's going to have to make a mandatory against Filip Dragovic next. So Dubois is not going to get a crack at Usyk again. Then there's Deontay Wilder. Now, this one's interesting. If everything falls through for Wilder, why not Daniel Dubois and Deontay Wilder? But the reason I don't think it's going to happen is because Dubois hits hard, and he would be considered a threat to Wilder. Not a big-time name coming off of a loss. And it's also Frank Warren working with the PBC, and that would be tough. It'd be a tough negotiation right there. So I'd love to see the fight, but I don't think it happens next. Plus, Wilder looks like he's involved with Anthony Joshua for a potential 2-fight showdown. Then Anthony Joshua, the former two-time unified heavyweight champ. If everything fell through for Joshua with Wilder, maybe he fights a guy like Dubois. I'm not sure he takes a risk. And he also has the, you know, quote-unquote excuse to say that Dubois is coming off a loss, so that would be too high risk for Joshua. But you never know. I could see him fighting him, but I don't think that fight's gonna happen. Then there's WBO interim champion Zhali Zhang. I don't see it. Well, I mean, I guess I could if Zhang loses to Joe Joyce at the end of September. I could see Dubois and Zhang saying, hey, we want to fight each other. But would Dubois want to take on a guy like Zhang coming off of a loss when, you know, if Zhang's coming off of a loss to Joyce? If Zhang beats Joe Joyce in a rematch, then basically Zhali Zhang's probably going to either sit around and wait for his mandatory title shot, or he's going to get a bigger name opponent than a guy coming off a loss like Dubois. But that doesn't completely rule it out, but I don't see that one happening. Then Filip Hrgović. Hrgović is likely going to wait around for the winner of the Fury and Usyk clash if it's for undisputed, or he's going to get the crack at Usyk for undisputed. Not sure if Hrgović would want to take a risk and fight a guy like Dubois, who's coming off of a loss. I'm not sure that makes sense for Hrgović. I think it potentially could be a bad matchup because Dubois does hit hard. Joe Joyce, a rematch. Not likely. Joyce, though, but you never know. But I don't think Dubois, coming off of a loss, would have the confidence to get back in the ring against Joe Joyce. If Joe Joyce avenges his loss and defeats Zhali Zhang for the WBO interim title in their rematch on September 23rd. So, as much as I think Dubois wants that rematch, coming off the loss to Usyk, I don't think his confidence level would be there for a rematch with Joe Joyce. Even though Joe Joyce is likely going to have to wait, if he becomes WBO interim heavyweight champ again, he's going to have to wait probably a year or so to get his mandatory title shot. So maybe that fight could happen, the rematch with Dubois and Joyce, but I don't think so. Andy Ruiz Jr., I don't think he'd fight a guy like Dubois next, especially with Frank Warren and the PBC having to work together for the fight. I don't think it's big enough for Ruiz. I think Ruiz, you know, wants only big fights, big name opponents. That's really what he's going for. Then you got a former two-time world title challenger, Luis Ortiz. I like the fight with Ortiz, but I don't think it happens. You know, Ortiz is a PBC guy. You know, I don't think he would be completely opposed to this fight, but is this the type of opponent, even though Ruiz is up there in age, that Dubois might want to fight after a loss? Maybe it would be, but I'm going to lean towards the less likely. Then you got Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte currently works with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, and I just don't know that Matchroom and Eddie Hearn would work with Frank Warren in Top Rank to make this fight happen, even though it's an all-UK battle, and it would be a good heavyweight slugfest right here. I do believe this fight is possible if the two sides would be willing to work together, but I'm not sure if they would. And then finally, well, and that's it. That's, you know, that's the last one. So for Dubois, there's options there, but I ultimately think he's probably going to come back and shake off some rust in his next fight, and fight somebody less known to just shake off that loss to Usyk and get back into the win column. So we'll see what happens, but that's it. That's what I got. That's my what's next on Daniel Dubois following his 9th round TKO loss to Oleksandr Usyk, in which he lost the WBA regular title. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.